wicked. And so they're speaking to the unborn, the untorn. Your land is your crop, you're the children of the corn. Cosmic or on earth, alive and stillborn. I'd rather say shalom than wish you a good morn. Another child is born. Muslim and Hebrews, Cometians and Hindus. We Muslim, we Muslims and tissues. So what's the issue? They progress off for ignorance, where the government elect officials to protect us from this very statement. But instead the state is hard pavement. A few crack can become agents. Smell of money's like the new fragrance. Lady Gaga poison, have you swimming in Frank's ocean? This is non-profit, only clothes coming out my closet. Only clothes coming out my closet. So, it takes 5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship. It takes 5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship.
Love, truth, peace, freedom and justice. I, self-law, am master, trust this. Corn children strolling through concrete greenery. Police see you and not seeing me. Activated my auric field. Watch the ripples. Freeze pigs in their tracks like I got them crippled. Can't move. No more violations or abuse. Study what was brought to you by Noble Drew. The order of the day known by few. Under the bus, we were through by those who knew. Now most don't even know what they supposed to, and don't admit that their boy in charge is who screwed the nation. Quoting all chapters of the Quran, not fall of man and creation. Suffering from mental castration, historical alterations, and birthright amputations.
5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship. It takes 5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship.
I am putting claim on the throne, children of the corn, yes. Journey to the kingdom is ours. We getting back all we deserve. I am born, born through my son, he the prince. Just to think he become king. In the morning, I awaken to the vision, the nation, rising to occasions. I am thinking, what a beautiful sight, with the youths and the arts and the science. Songbirds ready, take flight, getting in the books. Babies, get your minds right. Vanguard defending, never start a fight. Legacy created, claim to be a part, be glad to say you made it and change it. They can take the page out the book, the ink out the pen, but can never take the thoughts out your head, They can take the page out the book, the ink out the pen, but can never take the thoughts out your head.
It takes 5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship. It takes 5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship.
And I'm gone, meaning I get it started. Youth them on the corn, they stuck in this maze party. I'm putting hard in as a part of this mess, but most just wanna party. But Cardi and Chris, sorry I mean Ciroc for dropping this talk business. You see the kids is getting their heads twisted. We're short-sighted, with no distance. Was born fighters, but with no discipline. So listen up quick, the sand drips is quickening. Some niggas standing in quicksand and sinking. By the time it sinks in, already neck deep, then they deep throw in the worms. 6 feet, see we was brought up products of some wrong moves. But self-knowledge, that's ammo that you can't lose. Thorn bushes or corn bushes, we all choose. Whether well wishes or wrongdoers, it's all you.
5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship. It takes 5 figures to shoplift, 5 principles to prevent this. Love, truth, peace, oh! Freedom and justice. Take off the shackles and get off the slave ship.
Soulful evening and Islam. I am R.H. Salim Bey, and I wanted to touch a few things this evening as briefly as possible, because I've been trying to figure out what is it with my people that refuse to give themselves a real leg up. Everything that you desire to accomplish, employment, housing, education, basically a fair shake across the board, we've yet to experience truly. And there's many who would never tell you why, but they will gladly placate to your emotions as long as you are in acceptance of a derogatory, remedial, unimportant status. And while I commend you for knowing that there's a need for camaraderie, togetherness, unity, we still have yet to figure out the true meaning of that. I know that you see here in the background a news article. I'm not going to read it. I just wanted you to see, if you've never known, that there's many things, a vast many things that has been purposely hidden, and not honestly spoken of. You know this brother, this is your civil rights activist, your champion, your African American Negro leader. And he was cut down. And if he were here today, he'd tell you exactly why that was. And I guarantee you that he'd never tell you that it was because of the color of his skin. Many of you are not going to appreciate what I'm telling you today. But I promise you, it had nothing to do with the color of his skin. So this brother, you've been given many opportunity to appreciate, to empathize, to adore his story. And like this brother, there are several others. The Marcus Garveys, the Medgar Evers, the Malik Els, i.e. Malcolm. And there are so many others who, for, pardon me, for the sake of wanting better, have been touted to have put themselves out in front, pardon me, to assist in our quest of humanity. Sadly, there is one brother who, when the Juneteenth rolls around, when the February celebrations or the pardon me, historical Black history, African American, Afro, etc. Historical references are touted. You'll never hear the name of this brother. And there is a big reason, an extremely important reason why you will never hear it. And before I get right to that, just know that the other names that I've mentioned, those righteous men who at one point were not, and even were used for negative law, know and knew about this brother. The man that really came along to give us credence and clarity of who we are as a nation of people. Taught you, left for you information explaining the facts as to why we suffered so much. And much of it was because of ourselves. Noble Drew Ali came by way of the great God Allah. You might call it Jehovah. You may call it Yahweh. You may call it Buddha. But every nation has had a prophet come from among them to bring them out of darkness into the marvelous light. Pardon me. And that darkness is the darkness of the mind, because the enslavement that every nation has faced was first and foremost mental. He advised that you are not Negro, black, or colored. He advised that you are a nation of people. And he told you that we honor all divine prophets. But unfortunately, many of us only want to hold on to the unchanging hand of who? Well, you can do that. Hold on to Jesus if you must. But you do remember that when the Christ, which is a title, which is the culmination of the highest spiritual knowledge, not a being, began his ministry at the age of 12, he was found to be in the temple discussing things with the doctors of law. I suggest you go back and look up what that really means. So, Prophet Noble Drew Ali prepared for us. He didn't write it. He didn't claim authorship. Divinely prepared script. And within it included the missing years of Jesus, between the ages of 12 to 33. But I'm not going to even get into that just yet. Another day. Definitely another day. I want to read this here, which is the divine warning by the prophet for the nations. You do with it what you will from that point. And so I will begin. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family, bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. For they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship, by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and to enforce and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. I love my people, and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised in all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asked for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Didn't that man tell you? He took, yeah, I know he said that. You should go back to his speech on the steps of the, yeah, that one, the one you love, that speech. Because then after that speech, he also told you that he led his people into a burning building, but y'all still ain't pay attention. But it's all right. Because see, I'm here to help. I ain't here to beat you down. I'm trying to lift you up. But he told you that. I know he told you that. You know why I know he told you that? Because I loved knowing what I knew about this brother before I found out everything else that I'm finding out and have found out. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. Because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. The word Negro deludes in the Latin language to the word nigger. The same as the word colored deludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners, who were at that time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men free and equal. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and citizens. Our people and citizens. Our people and citizens. So there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which is lost, and that is through the above statements. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by the citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, disease, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way, and without understanding they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc. In their present condition of their endeavorment, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world, they will not refrain from their sinful ways or sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South, and I have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. From the prophet. Do with that as you will, but know this: until you stop using names, Negro, colored, black, Afro-American, African-American, Native American, American Indian, Latino, etc., 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 until you stop using names that delude to enslavement, that delude to property of someone else, we as a whole continue to suffer. I tell you this because I no longer suffer personally, because my mind is free. Marinate on that. The mind that knows who they are can never, never be enslaved. And if you think that the enslavement is always physical, they always broke you mentally first. Why? Because the mind is that powerful. Because man is mind. All right? So I think it's only right that I read this one right fast. This is one of my favorite chapters out of the Holy Quran. Many call it the Circle 7. This is chapter 5. After the feast, the homeward journey, the missing Jesus, the search for him. His parents find him in the temple. He goes with them to Nazareth, symbolic meaning of carpenter tools. All right. So we're going to jump into this right quick, you dig, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. All right. So the great feast of the Pasch. That's Pasch. I'm gonna look that up and know whether or not I'm saying that right by the next time around. Was ended, and the Nazarenes were journeying towards their homes. And they were in Samaria. And Mary said, "Where is my son?" No one had seen the boy, and Joseph sought among their kindred who were there on their way to Galilee, but they had not seen him. They had seen him not. Then Joseph, Mary, and a son of Zebedee returned and sought through all Jerusalem, but they could not find, but could find him not. And Mary asked the guards, had they seen Jesus, a little boy about 12 years old. The guards replied, "Yes, he is in the temple now disputing with the doctors of the law." And they went in and found him as the guards had said. And Mary said, "Why, Jesus, why do you treat your parents thus? Lo, we have sought 2 days for you. We feared that some great harm had overtaken you." And Jesus said, "Do you not know that I must be about my Father's work?" And he went round and pressed the hand of every doctor of the law and said, "I trust that we meet again." And then he went forth with his parents on their way to Nazareth. And when they reached their home, he wrought with Joseph as a carpenter. One day, as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, "These tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things were made of thought and where we build up character. We use the square to measure all the lines, all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places of the way and make the corners of our conduct square. We use the compass to draw circles around our passions and desires to keep them in the bounds of righteousness. We use the axe to cut away the knotty, useless, ungainly parts and make the character symmetrical. We use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it in until it is part of every part. We use the plane to smooth the rough, uneven surfaces of joint and block and board to go to build the temple for the truth. The chisel, the line, the plummet, and the saw all have their uses in the workshop of the mind. And then this ladder with its trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love. On it we climb up to the dome of purity and life. And on the 12-step ladder we ascend until we reach the pinnacle of that which life is spent to build the temple of perfected man. This is the brother Yeshua. I almost said Jesus because I like joking with people. But yeah, Yeshua is his true appellation. Jesus was never his name, the word or letter. And yeah, letter J never existed. Each letter is also a word of its own. You should know that. You should get back into third grade studies on connotation and denotation. You should get back into the etymological studies of the use of words and their origins. English is a baby language, as if it just came out the womb of mother, because it truly has. It is not among the ancients of languages. And you will find as you actually get into reusing those skills, you'll find that every word you've ever used either caused you harm or lifted you up. Okay? Black means death. It also ties scientifically, and the word science means to know, comes from the word seer, S-C-I-R-E. All right? So when you say science, science is not Bunsen burners, tubes, and cutting open a frog, etc. That's not science. That is an application of a scientific pursuit. But everything in this existence has a science to it. And it would behoove you to get back to doing so for yourself, so that you're no longer being left behind, so you can stop speaking death into your existence and start speaking life, because life and death is where. You love that book so much, but yet you've actually never paid attention to it. Go to Psalms 82. Read it and keep reading it till you actually see what's there. Go to Psalms 82 and read it. Then focus on verse 6. Then double back and read it all again. And then focus on verse 6. Then double back and read it all again. And then focus on verse 6. and double back and read it all again, and then focus on verse 6. And then focus on verse 6 and focus on verse 6. Because the whole truth has been given to you. You need to wake up. Nobody's coming to do it for you. No one. If you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Father comes from the word pattern or patar. Pattern. Father didn't birth you, mother did. Get back to source. Get back to source. Honor thy mothers and thy father, so that your divine manifestation will be long and prosperous in earth plane. That's all I'm going to say for this evening. Supreme honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give thanks to all my brothers and sisters out here who are on the up and up and really taking hold of this knowledge for its truth and what it's worth, and you're not trying to get over on your people. And for those of you who are using this information and this knowledge to charge for packages upwards of 5 and 6 and 700 and 1,000 and 2 grand and 3, and I've heard worse. Your day is numbered. Retribution cometh, and swiftly. You won't get away with it. And shame on those who trusted you. And double shame on you for deceiving them. Because they only trusted you because we're tired. Islam, family. And I'm gone. Till next time. The 5 will keep you straight, and the 2 is your saving grace. I am Ronnie Haim Salim Bey. Peace.